listening to Am I the Bolcast, the only podcast about Magic the Gathering ever at all that you're listening to right now. It's your boy, Mike Carrozza. That's me. I'm your host. That's right. You know it. You love me. That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
No.
I'm joined today a mailbag episode. We've got our super producer, super genius, Morgan Sanchez. Hello, Morgan.
Hola.
Hola, Morgan.
Mike Carrozza.
And of course, don't call me Mike. It's Mark. Anyway, give it up. It's our our co-host,
now
Michael. These intros are just off the rails every goddamn time. So is goddamn getting censored? I don't think so. F it. Sorry, Ken. Michael Celani, aka gamesfreaksa. Hello, Michael.
Mike, you're a real dingaling. Sorry, Ken.
Michael.
Well, if you listened last week, you know that we have a new running swear that makes no sense to censor, and it's up to you to learn what it is, because you'll never hear it uncensored here again. And that's a promise.
I think we should also
I
think we should also, to make room, we should also uncensor one of the swear words we use regularly so that there's enough room for sorry, Ken, to be censored.
True.
I vote for sorry, Ken.
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right. Look, guys, it's time for another episode of Am I the Bolcast? But before we talk about what we're here to talk about, we got to let you know about our sponsors, Cardsphere.com. Cardsphere, get your cards here. We've got a referral link in the description. If you need cards, you know what? You can get them real good, real cheap, real nice on Cardsphere.com. You got to sell your cards. You're going to get the most value out of them when you put them online and people come and shopping your way. Trust me, it is simple, it is easy, and you'll find what you're looking for. I've been having a great time with Cardsphere, and I'll end up on there 2 a.m. when I can't sleep, looking for cards and going, do I need another one? Is it time to pull the trigger on a metal worker? Should I get a metal worker? I don't have a deck that I should put it in, but I would really like a metal worker. It's a card that I've really loved. Should I get one? And guys, I'm not going to tell you whether or not I got one. I'm not going to tell you. Why would I do that?
Are you going to hold it up to the camera? Is that what's going to happen?
No.
Think about it.
Are you going to hold it up to the camera?
No.
Oh, no, Mike, no.
I did it. I have a metal worker.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Am I the bolus for buying a metal worker on Cardsphere? Get your cards here.
Is it ever gonna be in a deck? I don't know. It's just one of those cards I've always really wanted, but it's way too good for every deck that I want to put it in. Because by the time you want to put a metal worker in a deck, you already have a glut of artifacts, and then what? It's a ritual every turn. All right. Anyway, point is, Cardsphere.com. Use the referral link in the description of the episode. Sign up, get your cards there. Cardsphere.com. Cardsphere, get your cards here. Not an official slogan. We've just been saying it for years. And now we'll talk about our other sponsor, boneboxgames.com. You can use our promo code BOLCAST for a little cheeky little discount. Shout out to Evan and Jesse for making quality products that I always get compliments for. And honestly, I just love them. I think they add so much to the vibe of the deck.
They're just
really
good quality,
wait to see
y'all.
what else they cook up.
They're the boxes
amazing.
I've been taking to the last
great.
2 Magic Cons, and like I always get comments on like, who the heck makes those boxes? Guess what? It's not Ultra Pro, it's not Ultimate Guard, it's not Dragon Shield, it's Bone Box. And it's like, go to their website. Yeah. They have cute little stickers, the Grim Reaper and stuff.
It's
they got
not
a bunch
the
of
big dogs.
Yeah, they got a bunch of really cute
guys.
Stuff made by really great artists, and they just look so cool. That Decay deck box, you guys, best decision ever to make that like something that just sticks around forever. Because it just looks so... Every Golgari deck you have, or anything that has black and green in it, needs to be in that Decay box. Just saying.
That's what Genova's in. Genova's in the Decay box. Yeah. So, shout out, Evan, Jesse. Mwah. Love you guys. Discount code BOLCAST on boneboxgames.com. And now that's it for sponsor time. Shout out to that one guy I keep talking about. See the impression you've made? I'm not...
You're living rent-free in Mike's head.
It's all spite, buddy.
He
spite.
ain't paying for nothing.
Spite. Anyway, gang, it's time to talk about something that we'll talk about here on the podcast. Yeah, we could do the mailbag. Do we want to talk about mailbag or do it? I've got an update here. Let's do me talk about this. Me talk about this now.
Me talk about that.
Me
You
talk
talk
about
about me.
Many word.
When few word do trick. Me talk this now real quick. Then mailbag. Then me convince talk about new card stuff on internet.
Good idea.
Maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Maybe Atla. Maybe Lorwyn. Maybe. But first, me talk this now. After years of avoiding it because I've seen parts of the movies and was never really interested in them, never really cared for them, and after many years of being shamed by anybody who has found out that I'd not seen them, I made a deal with friends that I would teach them how to play Magic if I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I have watched the 2 first movies and we're making plans to watch the 3rd. It has happened. It's the extended versions. Obviously, I've been saddled with that. Did I enjoy them? Yes. They are great movies. They are fantastic. Do I understand the fandom to the extent to which I've experienced it over the years, wherein people will go out of their way to rewatch all the movies on an annual or biannual basis? No, I do not understand that. I don't think that. I have to assume that a lot of it is these franchises showing up at a very formative time for you, because I do not understand the fanaticism around the franchise. But I will say, great movies. A lot of fun watching with a group of people and making jokes. It is lovely and wonderful, emotional, great stuff. Battle scenes were fantastic. A lot of the card designs from the LOTR sets really make a lot more sense to me now, and it's awesome. I have a lot more appreciation for some cards. So shout out to, watching the movie explains the cards. Shout out to Prof and his saying. But the movies were great. However, and this is me reporting back, enjoyed the movies. I did not need to endure that much shame when telling people I haven't seen them. They are not worth being like, yeah, you haven't seen it. Oh my God, you haven't seen The Lord of the Rings?
That's like
God
actual
damn,
footage.
I was about to do that.
That's
I was
actual
about
footage.
to do that to you, Mike.
It's not worth it. There is so much out there, like even publicly, privately, I have endured about the Lord of the Rings franchise. It is not worth yelling at people about not having seen them. They're great movies. You'll enjoy them for sure. Are you missing out on anything that you could go without? Hey, you're missing out on a good couple movies. That's for sure. But you're not. It should not be jammed down your throat. Watch it when you feel like. And the more people tell you you haven't watched it and freak out like that, the less I felt like ever watching them. So just a word of warning to anybody who's got people who hasn't seen it, they want to invite to watch it. Just ask straight up if one day they want to watch it together, and don't be a dick about it, and it'll work out.
So it's funny because to me, as somebody who's like the Lord of the Rings since I was like a tiny child, I mean, recognize that the book was published in 1954. Okay.
100%.
So the movies are essentially like.
They didn't even have iPhones back then.
Weirdly enough, any
living in the moment.
Living in the moment, writing a book about dragons.
No Nokia
Wonder
brick.
what that's like.
In 1954. And so when the movies came out, there's definitely attachment to the formative years there for me because I was, I think, like 9 years old when these movies started coming out. And having always loved the books, the Hobbit books, some of the other adjacent books that Tolkien wrote, him and his son, Christopher, about like the lore. There was so much lore. It was like, where are the movies? Where is the TV show? Where are all the video games? And so once Peter Jackson started making these movies, it was like, oh, this is like a culmination of, at the time, 50 years worth of lore getting wrapped up into 3-3-hour movies, which is not enough, by the way, obviously.
Excellent.
And Mike, I don't know if you have any plans to watch the Hobbit movies. They're much maligned. No. People hate them because, there's a lot of different detachment from like the book. I think they're really fun. If you're into that high fantasy like vibe, like I am, you'll love them, right? I think they're really fun. They're really cute. If not, it's very much a like, I don't understand the hype because this is like every other fantasy thing that ever exists. But it is cool to know that Lord of the Rings like essentially started this for everyone. Started it for Dungeons and Dragons. Like Lord of the Rings is where it comes from, modern high fantasy. So there's a really huge bar to cross. That. Yeah, but I think that if you're saying the movies are like the best movies of all time, they're not. I think they're good representations of the books. If you are not familiar with the lore, There's a lot of really cute fan service in them. If you have read the books, there's some changes, obviously. But the fact that the world is just so large is what makes it compelling and fun and interesting to me. Would I ever say, like, you have to watch these movies or you'll die? No.
Yeah, no. But I have been met with that before. There are people out there who feel that way and have only made me want to never watch them again. I also don't have plans to watch the Hobbit movies because I've heard they're dog. Sorry, Ken. However, given that the set is coming out next year, I will at some point likely watch it because I think the greater appreciation for the set is worth it to me. I think that I've been enjoying Universes Beyond in the ways that, like, when Warhammer 40K got their cards made, I looked up a video of like 4 hours deep of lore and what these guys are and what they mean, and that helped me appreciate some designs more. I did the same thing for Final Fantasy, where I watched a video summarizing every game, and then after I watched all of those, turns out Graham Stark from Loading Ready Run actually put out a video doing that for us instead.
You really actually go to the lengths. That's kind of surprising.
I love Magic the Gathering. I love Magic so much that I love knowing where this inspiration comes from. It's one thing to look at Theros and go, Greek gods. Yeah, I know about this through, like, learning about stuff like this in school or like, other properties have adapted it, or I've done my own looking into it. Like, fine, sure. Like Egyptian world, Amonkhet, etc. There's some stuff that you know from history. Great. But this fictional properties that are being integrated into Universe Beyond, it definitely gives me a bit more of an understanding, especially when it's a whole set. Like, unfortunately, I don't feel the pull for Spider-Man or for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to understand.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask, are you gonna watch The Office now?
I've already seen The Office, but I think it's absurd to have just reskins with Dwight on them. But also, it's obviously they had to pick Dwight because he's the most annoying nerd, and he is the perfect encapsulation and representation of that guy that people sigh not out of relief, but out of like bracing themselves for that next interaction when he shows up to the game night. Like, a guy shows up to LGS, you're kind of like, hey, dude, yeah, welcome. Yeah, you're playing tonight.
I love you're not showering.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. Just I think personality-wise, Dwight is just the most annoying, especially in the early seasons. Either way, point is, I digress. I watched Lord of the Rings. I enjoyed the movies, and I do enjoy the cards a lot more because of it. I think it's really good that I haven't seen the third one yet, so I don't quite understand a lot of the rest of the designs, like Merry and Pippin's cards in the Commander deck. They haven't reached that for me. I don't quite understand them yet, but I definitely am looking at some of the cards and going, this feels like a lazy design, or this doesn't feel like they gave it, like, this doesn't hit the nail on the head. Like Treebeard, for example, should have been a Stax commander. For sake, sorry, Ken. What a frustrating presence. I digress.
Well, now no one can make fun of you for not watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well,
although you know what I think would be really funny as a way to deal with people who are doing that to you. You should like turn it around on them for properties that are like absolute dog. Sorry, Ken. It's like, oh, I know I haven't seen Lord of the Rings yet, but have you seen 50 Shades of Grey yet? You haven't? Oh my God! You have to watch 50 Shades of.
I do that Dorian with the Saw Gray franchise.
That's not the name.
No.
Well, what's the guy? What's Gray's first name? Christian Grey. Dorian Gray is someone else.
Yeah, the Portrait of Dorian Gray.
Yeah, that's like, scary and worth reading. Yeah,
worth reading for sure. Actually, my girlfriend is also a comedian. She's been doing a really fun bit where I don't want to tell the joke here. It's great. The Portrait of Dorian Gray reference in it. When it hits, I'm like, this audience knows what's up, and if I'm on the same show and I get to go up after her, I'm like, thank God I get to play with these guys, because yeah, when that line hits, it's so worth it. It's so good. Point is, I think Universe Beyond is doing a great job with the designs. When they put a lot of love and care in them, it shows, and it's amazing. I am looking forward to most of the Magic in universe sets. Obviously, Reality Fracture being kind of the next like big event, as March of the Machines, War of the Spark, Time Spiral, all this stuff. Like, that's what I can't wait for. It'll put an end to the Jace arc, and can't wait for that. Looking forward to Lorwyn, like, so much.
Can't wait to put an end to Jace.
Honestly, yeah, dude.
It's time. It's
annoying.
time.
Sorry, Ken.
Tom Cruise looking.
Jace.
I
Don't
really
say that word, Michael.
Yeah, we can't.
Sorry,
we
Ken.
already made an
to
executive
apologize.
decision.
I'm sorry, Ken.
It's time for Jace to retire because look, the Lorwyn 5 are always going to be my besties. I'm always going to love them. Always going to love Jace. He's basically my husband, but like getting close to the time of divorce where you're just like, I need something different. Like you're just too much the same. And then Wizards coming out and saying like, well, he's supposed to be like the archetypical Magic player. I'm like, get him out of here.
Nah, no,
I don't like him.
No, he's not.
He's not my. It's not my play group.
They really hate us if that's what they think of us.
Yeah.
Anyway,
hold on. He is hot though. So are they saying the average archetypical Magic player is hot?
No, they are not. No, they are not.
Okay, rude.
Jace or the average Magic player?
The average Magic player. They're not saying that about the average Magic player. They're saying
Jace is hot though.
It has nothing to.
Jace is hot though.
Sure, but they're not saying that. He's a cartoon. I don't look. Here's the thing. Jesus fucking Christ! I'm looking for the.
You don't have to say words if you don't want to, Mike. That is always an option.
No, I want to say words. I'm just looking for this goddamn article again.
A bold move.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see if this works out for him.
All I'm saying is I don't think that Jace has been a stand-in for Magic players for such a long time. The fact that there's even a persisting idea of this, I just don't understand how that is still a thing that people will ever say. Like, I think Morgan is being tongue-in-cheek about it, but if there are still people out there who are like, yeah, Jace it represents us, we should see ourselves in him. It's like they made him a villain. They made him insufferable. They well,
see, it's all coming full circle though, right? Like it all makes sense.
Yeah.
When you look at the archetypical Magic player.
Now the archetypical Magic player is represented by like a Johnny and Nico.
Johnny, exactly. And Nico is a better example. I'm best exemplified by Tyvar because I want to punch things. So I have the list of upcoming sets and stuff. Lorwyn Eclipse is definitely the one I'm most excited for. Reality Fracture is maybe like right behind it by a hair. And then of the rest of them, I'm not so keen on Strixhaven or The Hobbit. I'm curious about Star Trek, but I am actually very excited about Marvel's superheroes because I like the supervillains of Marvel, and I like when you don't have 90 versions of the same fucking character. Sorry, Ken, like in the Spider-Man set. So I'm looking forward to them executing that a lot better, and I want to give them the grace for that. And so that, to me, is the one Universes Beyond set where I'm going, this, if they can nail it, I'll feel fine. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is way, way, way down below. Honestly, if they spoiled more sets into 2027, I think TMNT would be at the bottom of the list, even including whatever could possibly come then.
Morgan looks like she's about to kill you right now.
Hit it. Do you like the Turtles, Morgan?
I do like the turtle. Okay, I like the Turtles. I don't love the Turtles. The Turtles are another formative year thing for me. Okay, like
yeah,
they are.
Have you not watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? We're gonna have to shame you until you do.
I think it's one of those things you need to watch or you'll die.
I watched a bit when I was younger, and I don't
more
care.
than Lord of the Rings, in my honest opinion. Like,
I mean, I'm sorry to say this, Morgan, but I think you're gonna have to go yourself. Sorry, Ken. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What I really like about this set is one card in particular, which is Turtles Forever, where they have the different eras of design for the turtles, and I thought that that's very clever way to illustrate like the in-universe multiverse. And I also think that like Super Shredder is a bananas card. Bebop and Rocksteady are both like both those cards are cool for Genova, but they are not cards that make me go ooh la la. You know what I mean? And the Pizza Lands, don't even get me started.
Okay.
I felt sick.
Don't.
I felt sick.
Don't.
Ugh.
What is the issue? We talked to Nick Spoilers, one of our Mailbag participants, about the Pizza Lands, and I said, what is the problem with the Pizza Lands? Like what is it? that isn't just I hate this and I don't like it.
Did you let me ask this?
Yeah.
Do you remember the food tokens from Eldraine, Mike? The original food tokens.
Sure.
Did they disgust you?
Yeah, I think they did. The OG Eldraine ones.
Like
yeah.
OG Eldraine, yeah.
OG
Where it's
Eldraine.
like it's literally just like a cake on one of them.
Well, it's like a cake with a face.
Does it have a
Remember
face?
the face in it?
I don't
There's
remember
like a
face
face
cake.
in
Maybe there's a good reason for that.
Hold on. Is token food set eld? Oh wait.
Why use many word? No, I'm just kidding. Syntax, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
The OG Eldraine one that didn't sit well with me that I was thinking of is the cornucopia. Because there's a cornucopia that looked like all moldy. Something felt moldy and off, and I didn't care for that one. I wasn't thinking about the other ones. Because these all look like they're face. Painted. Okay.
Did you not notice that? All the food is supposed to have a memento mori in it. It's supposed to remind you that you're going to die.
Okay, I like it even more then.
Okay, great.
So there's some flavor in the Eldraine food tokens.
There's also food token in Unfinity that's just like a several stacked high burger, and it's just huge. Like,
it's kind of supposed to make you feel disgusted.
Yes, but I think what it is like this is. I didn't mind the food tokens from Doctor Who, though I never use them, or I won't really ever truly. Like there was that sandwich where I was like, I don't care for this. But I think that there's something to these lands that just feels, I love the hot dog from Spider-Man. Don't even get me started. Of course I love it.
Girl, you love the hot dog, but you can't handle the pizza lands.
Because the hot dog does not look disgusting. The pizza looks like Uncanny Valley fucking disgusting ass things. It is not good. My girlfriend is walking in on me yelling about pizza.
There's too much
the
cheese?
hot dog does look hand.
Guys,
is there too much cheese on your pizza?
Please, sorry, Ken. There's way too much. My girlfriend has not come into the room the entire time we've been recording 2 episodes. The one time she opens the door, it happens to be the time where me, her exceptionally Italian boyfriend, who wants to downplay just how fucking Italian he is, ends up
mistake, by the way,
just yelling about pizza. That's what happened.
That's what
what's going on?
Why have you done this? Like it was like, the pizza looks Uncanny Valley.
She just left because she said, I heard you yelling about hot dogs and I wanted to see if you were okay.
My girlfriend sounds great.
My girlfriend's the best. I love her so much. But okay, so no, this pizza looks gross. It does not look good.
Why?
Because
it's too much cheese on your pizza?
No, it's because the cheese looks like soup. It looks like it's not cheese. It doesn't look like cheese. Look at that mountain, okay? Look at how it's sliming off. It doesn't look like melting cheese. It looks like a liquid. Also, not for nothing, as far as the lands go, looking at all the land designs, I need them to evoke some way that this is where we draw our mana from. Even if it's a landscape, you get this idea or this sense of like, this is how it's always been, but this is where we get our power from. This is where this comes from. And then you have more like iconic designs in the sense that they use icons such as like on Secret Layers or the Theros Beyond Death, like Pokemon looking lands and stuff. And that's kind of something that I can get behind. I didn't care for the eyes of the dragon in Dragonstorm. I didn't care for the race car treatment on Aetherdrift. Okay, there are many lands that don't do it for me and don't feel right to me as someone who enjoys like what a land can look like and how much that can be paired to a deck and stuff. But looking at these pizza lands, I am grossed out by the look of them and also a little offended. And that's like it. So when it comes to this, there are many people who will agree and many others who disagree. And to
many Magic the Gathering players ask the question.
All I'm saying is like when it comes time to pre-release this set, the moment I open a pizza land, it's going to someone who likes them. I am going to ask whoever's with me, if a friend wants the lands, those are theirs. And if somebody at the table says, I like the lands, guess what? I'm sure these will be worth a couple bucks in a couple years. Here you go, buddy. Free money. You get to have these lands. I don't want them near me.
That is not very cowabunga of you, Mike.
Yeah.
I want to fucking strangle you. Sorry, Ken.
I will admit my two complaints with the Pizza Lands are the grip on the island and the mountain.
Yeah,
I don't like the island melting into a sea of like cheese.
Like, why are we
I don't
holding,
understand.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we like this on the?
Yeah, you know what? This is also part of the problem. This is also part of the problem.
What's that?
Also part of the problem. These Ninja Turtles have had pizza for their entire fucking lives. They should have perfected their grip on fucking pizza.
Exactly.
Sorry, Ken.
That's the real problem
If it's
here.
that melty, you can't grip it at all.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. It's so upsetting.
Bolus land.
Can we get to the mailbag? I think we've run out of things to say about
we got to the verdict. We got to the verdict.
A mailbag from our good pal Nick Lucchesi, also writer for EDHREC.com. Check him out. He writes in with a pet peeve buried so deep I forgot I had it. Nick, thank you for writing in. I didn't read this ahead of time because I trust you. Let's figure this out. Good day, Mike.
Dear Mike, you're a dick.
That'd be so good. Okay. Good day, Mike. It's me, Nick, longtime listener. I believe a one-time previous emailer and a zero timer when it comes to hitting you up on your pager. That's actually true. Have you ever forgotten about the hill you are willing to die on? I somehow did, and was recently reminded of it, which with such ferocity that I felt compelled to send this email. That hill is what I imagine to be a very unpopular opinion, that there are no staples in the Commander format. He did that in all caps and now says, sorry for yelling. In my opinion, no card should be considered a, quote, staple or a must-play in any deck of the format. Yet, sure enough, I will see people talk about how much they wish Commander were not a 95-card format or a 60-card format after you discount your lands, but then really it's a 55-card format. Commander is a 100-card format, and if you want to play a card, it is up to you to do so. It drives me up the entire wall when the argument is made that you should play, quote, play worse cards to give variety to your decks. Then the same people will argue that Arcane Signet should not exist because it became an immediate staple and everyone has to play it. I understand that some people do not like cards such as Sol Ring and Arcane Signet and wish that they were all removed from the format. I can understand that. However, when it comes down to it, at the most basic level, because there are always corner cases, you are the only one deciding what the 100 cards that make up your deck look like. All of this is a medium length way of saying that my pet peeve is people complaining about whatever cards have been labeled a staple of the format as being a must play, and then complaining about the homogeneity of the format and taking no responsibility for it. I love the articles and the podcast. Keep it up, bud. P.S. Context matters. P.P.S. Sorry, Ken. P.P.P.S. Super Genius Morgan has excellent taste in foils. Thank you, Nick.
Bless.
Don't think that buttering us up is going to make your bolus declaration any more likely. I am not one to take bribes unless they come in unmarked envelopes with a cash value of at least $200 or more.
You're buttering up.
Yep.
All right. Well, do you want to take the lead on this one, Michael? It feels like you've got already an opinion.
I think that this is a classic case of normative
classic
versus descriptive. You know, I think
Spell
Nick
it
is
out
making
for someone like me who doesn't know what you
is
mean by
making
that.
a normative argument versus a descriptive one. Nick says there are no staples in the Commander format, which is a demonstrably untrue statement. Do we both agree with that? It's a demonstrably untrue statement.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are staples. Like if you go to EDHREC, you will see that some cards are played in a vast majority of decks.
Yep.
And those, if you were to give that phenomenon a name, you would give it the name staples.
Correct.
Right? So saying there are no staples is just incorrect, which means I don't think I can agree with the premise of this on the face of it, right? It's like, I don't think there are staples. There are. Then it makes it wrong for you to complain about staples. It doesn't. It's like, I understand the idea of wanting to ban Sol Ring, wanting to ban Arcane Signet, because of the feeling that if you don't play those cards, well, you're missing out. You know, they're very good cards. They're very strong. And if you don't play them, if you didn't have the option to play them, because it really feels like you're forced to play them, even though you technically have the option, because most of the time it's just going to be like, yeah, you're going to have a worse card in that slot than Sol Ring or Arcane Signet, which means that it would be more or less disingenuous to try and replace it with something else. I mean, you could always do that and stick to your guns, but for most people that's not going to be something that incentivizes them to move away from it. They would rather be told that no one can play with these because they're just too good. And I feel like that's a fair argument to make. I don't understand how you could say that that's not something that's a reasonable take.
So, to Nick's point at the end when he says people complaining about whatever cards have been labeled a staple of the format as being a must play, but then complaining about the homogeneity of the format and taking no responsibility for it. That to me sounds like there are a lot of folks out there who complain about Sol Ring, but put it in every single deck that they play and utilize it to its fullest. I am the antithesis of this argument, because guess what? First of all, we were talking about Pizza Lands earlier and about how we didn't like the art and certain descriptions of the art.
We're not going back.
I was at an SEG event not too far away from now where I went to Dan Scott and had him sign a really cool Ponder art piece that I got. Dan Scott also did the art for the most recent General Arcane Signet with the hand. It's one of my least favorite pieces of Magic art of all time because it's a little too generic. It's in every single precon. Maybe not now because they are starting to do more like set specific art in the precons for like Arcane Signet and like Sol Ring, which is great, which is cool.
Good
for
idea.
The staples, right? But I'm like, Dan, I really just don't like this art. And he's like, that's fair. Like it's an older piece of art and but obviously Ponder is iconic. Other Dan Scott pieces are iconic.
Sure.
But I was like, anytime I see that Arcane Signet, get it out of here. What am I putting in there? Anything else. But I'm not doing it out of the principle that Arcane Signet is a staple, that I want to put something else in there. But I will tell you, I am the queen of replace the good thing with something strictly worse, but a lot more fun, right? That's how I handle this idea of, well, you should be playing Rhystic Study if you're playing blue problem. No, because that's not fun for me. I got a Consecrated Sphinx off in my Urza deck the other day, and it was miserable for me because it just went so immediately off the rails that I'm like, okay, this isn't necessarily what I wanted. I thought maybe the Consecrated Sphinx, it is a game changer, by the way, within the rules of the bracket system. But
wild.
I'm like, maybe, somebody can remove it. Like it's going to be immediately zapped is kind of the way that I was thinking, right? Like I'm going to play this, I'm going to get like a turn's value off of it, and then it's gone because it's just insufferable, right? Didn't happen.
So much stuff sticks way longer than you think.
Right. And so to Nick's point, I do agree with him that there are a lot of folks who are playing Sol Rings that complain about Sol Ring being in the format. And maybe this is an idea of creativity that folks need to be thinking about if they're complaining about the homogeneity, right? Like, well, what if you just gave yourself the restriction? And right, isn't like restriction breeds creativity, right? So what if you said, I'm going to make a list or a personal list or my play group. We're going to make a list of all the cards that we consider staples, not just like what we see on EDHREC even. And then say, get rid of the crap. Throw something else in there, whether it's strictly worse or not. That's how you get rid of that argument against homogeneity. You don't need to play Sol Ring, you guys. Like, I don't know how many times like podcasters need to tell you this, but it's true.
Game changers too are like a good barometer. So first of all, I do want to correct something because Morgan, you mentioned that Dan Scott did Sol Ring. He did the Arcane Signet. It wasn't. You were talking about Arcane Signet, not Sol Ring.
I think I might have misspoke. Yeah.
It's all good. I'm just making sure that
you were talking about Arcane Signet.
Let's get ahead of the comments on the online, just so we know. But like, yeah, it's Arcane Signet. Dan Scott did the Arcane Signet that has been repeated so many millions of times.
The Eldraine Brawl,
right? The original Arcane Signet
with the hand.
100 years ago now.
So many times. Now, I agree, and I use the Game Changers as like also a list of cards that I find to be closer to staple territory in the sense that like. They have become quite ubiquitous. When people were running Smothering Tithe in every white deck and, still trying to get away with calling it a 7 back in the day, and I would play Smothering Tithe, but I'd be like, it's got Tithe in the deck, and if it comes out, it comes out, and I'm going to have a lot of mana, but I've started finding it not fun to play. I don't enjoy Smothering Tithe, so I'd take it out of the deck. I don't enjoy Rhystic Study. It's out of the deck. Lo and behold, we have ourselves a Game Changer list that feels a little bit more validating because I find myself wanting to have this kind of experience of game. But anytime I can afford to cut a Soul Ring, I'll do it. You know what I mean? If it's especially because Soul Ring is capable of launching you into kind of a very, very commanding lead off of first turn, and that possibility isn't attractive to me, despite it being quite regular or fine later on in the game, So I've been doing my best to not keep hands that open with Soul Ring. I've also been doing my best to cut it whenever I can, but it comes down to the fact that we're discussing Soul Ring, we're discussing these other cards. They're most definitely staples. Nick, I don't think we can at all get behind this idea of there are no staples in Commander. Absolutely there are. What are you talking about? However, I completely agree that when people complain about seeing the same cards come up again and again and again, build with cards you've never played before. Build with cards. Find some chaff and work with it.
This is crazy, guys. Take notes. Listen. Listen up.
Read how they brew it. You'll find a bunch of cards nobody fucking plays. Sorry, Ken.
Paradise Lost.
Yeah, well, that's one of them. But I'm talking about like spatial binding in your Zur list. Like, talk about like you. So like that's the part of the fun is like being creative or original in your idea, or like when a new commander. I remember the days when we would only get a couple commanders from a set. You would end up with like 5 legends in a set, and one of them would really stand out to everybody. And so you'd have this influx of players being like, this is the one thing that is out now that scratches a bit of an itch. It's worth building. I'm going to build it. And then you have a bunch of people trying to find a way to build this optimally and creatively, and they'll land on a card that no one's heard of or played in years, and that card would spike, right? That's how it used to be. We don't have that happen a lot anymore because everybody's got millions of commander decks already, and we have 600 legends every set, and it's impossible to really, have that going as well as we used to. But the idea was it was kind of like a goal to find the card that works best with this new legend that is unplayed and most of all interesting and synergistic, and you would put that in this deck. Now, if you apply this idea to more than just one card, more than just like really come to a new idea, a new way to play a deck like this. There are some commanders that are way more prescriptive than others, and others that are a little bit more open-ended. Find out what you want to be doing and try to be more creative with it. I don't think that you have to, like, there are so many cards that we know by name and shorthand because they are just good. But the staples list isn't like 90 cards long. The staples list is unfortunately thousands of cards deep. But that also means that there's still variety with the staples thing. It's just at that top of the list that we're talking about, like, the overperformers or ones that, like, if you open your online deck builder of choice, you begin with a Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Command Tower. That's kind of where I'm guessing Nick is coming from, but the argument that he's making doesn't seem to support that it's just like that tier.
Yeah.
But I think you guys are missing the point, like deeply missing the point. I don't think the issue is whether or not staples are a bad thing yourself. Like, you always have control over your own deck. The thing I think people complain about is, I am so fucking sick. Sorry, Ken. I am so fucking sick. Sorry, Ken.
We broke Michael. He just keeps doing it the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Mute him. Mute him. We'll just have a 40-second long silent period where Michael is saying his point, and then we're like, all right.
What is this, a Marco Rubio at the Republican National
You guys
debate?
Are both wrong.
And here's why. And then just a 40-second long segment of like...
People are so goddamn sick of seeing the Soul Ring on the other side of the table. They're so goddamn sick of seeing someone play Rhystic Study, seeing someone play Arcane Signet, seeing someone play whatever. And they're like, come on, be more creative, I know you're a better person than that. Put something more interesting in your deck in that slot. You know?
But that's the thing is like you can be the change you want to see in the world, baby.
Yep.
Stop playing.
But that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't fully. No, if there's one thing I've learned from Republicans, it is not something that is possible. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think that Sol Ring is annoying, and I'm doing my part talking about it, trying to take it out of decks. I'm trying not to lead with it. You know what I mean? I'm not leaning on it. You know, I just think that it's. I'm not the only one out there doing this, and I think that if more people did it, then we would have less of that happening. But then we also wouldn't really notice.
I think the problem with that is I don't think a lot of people experience this the same way that you do. You want to get the Sol Ring out because you want to be more interesting. I think the vast majority of people don't want that. And I think that the people who are more interested in having a more diverse, weird, wacky format are miffed by the fact that every deck includes a Sol Ring. And most people want to include a Sol Ring in their deck. And the only way to get to where they want the format to be is not by being the change they want to see in the world, because that's not going to affect enough people. They just want the cards gone so that people are forced to think better, you know? And I can agree with that sentiment to some extent. I don't think that it completely holds water, but I can understand the emotional appeal behind that sort of line of thought. And it's kind of where Nick is coming from, to be honest, because he's saying, well, staples don't exist. Like, that's what I'm saying with the normative versus descriptive. What he's actually saying is, I don't think staples should exist. That's what I'm reading from this. And I don't know if that's an accurate portrayal, but it's definitely what it feels like to me.
But then he puts it on people. He said, my pet peeve is people complaining about whatever cards have been labeled a staple and being must play, and then complaining about that this format is same, and not taking responsibility for it.
Yeah.
That's a you live in a society, I'm a very smart person argument, though, right? It's like you're going to have to play the Sol Ring anyway because everyone else is. And I agree that doesn't have to be the case, but a lot of people will think of it that way. It's just hard to get out of that sort of
It's so easy
condition.
for me.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like,
well, you guys are just
like, if
you guys are just better people, I guess.
No,
I don't know that this
I
makes
really
you good
don't.
Or bad.
Yeah, I really don't like to think of it in an egotistical way,
funny.
but I do think of it in a practice what you preach kind of way, right? Like if I don't want to play heuristic study, like I'm not going to do it, you guys. I'm not going to do it to win either, because guess what? I like playing this game. I don't like to win, really. Winning is just like a icing on the cake kind of situation for me.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of
Makes
cute
you the
little
bolus
squirrels.
if you win.
Exactly, that's right. And so, like, regardless of context. And so, like, you know, I've got my little robots, so, like, maybe Urza's a little stronger. The squirrel deck sucks, you guys. Spoiler alert, the squirrel deck sucks. If I'm playing the squirrel deck, I'm trying to have a good time. I could take the Sol Ring out of that deck in an instant. And you know what I'm going to put in? I'm going to put in a forest, you guys. I might maybe a swamp if I'm feeling cheeky in lieu of the Sol Ring. Like,
I mean, I think that the forest is objectively correct. Just don't make it a pizza forest, I'd say.
Right. Yeah. I think so.
Bad for the
Morgan, make it.
It's bad for the
one
squirrels.
pizza forest.
One pizza forest in the squirrel
deck. It's bad for the squirrels.
It's bad for the squirrels.
And then when you play against Mike and you cast your cultivate.
Yeah. Get the pizza
staple, by the way.
Right. Oh, rampant growth? Can we talk about rampant growth, Celani? Actually, maybe this is a good time to bring that
before
back
we get
up.
there, I want to say any squirrel cast with a pizza forest ends up being sacrificed at the end of turn because they are sick.
Diabetes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead about rampant growth.
Yeah, Morgan. What were you about to say about rampant growth?
I mean, is rampant growth a staple, Celani? That's the
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's objectively a staple, right? Isn't it in like the top 25 cards?
It must be.
Let's look that up. I'm gonna check my facts. Top cards. 3. Cultivate is 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow,
Rampant Growth
5.
is the 9th most popular card.
The
Cultivate 9th most popular card.
Cultivate is 5?
Cultivate is the 5th most popular card.
Over
it's in
Reach?
44% of decks.
Cultivate over Kodama's Reach?
Cultivate's been printed more. Kodama's Reach is at 29%. Cultivate is at 44%.
You know what? This is interesting. Let's talk about the top 10. Let's just name them. We've got Soul Ring number 1, Arcane Signet number 2, Swords to Plowshares number 3, Path to Exile number 4, Cultivate 5, Counterspell 6, Farseek 7, Beast Within 8, Rampant Growth 9, and Blasphemous Act 10. So we have 3 ramp spells, ostensibly like 5 removal spells. No, 5 ramp
feel
and
bad
5
for black. They didn't get a single thing.
Yeah, you don't see any black until number 11, which is Talisman of Dominance, which is a Dimir.
That's
artifact.
not even really a black card. That's just kind of a rock.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down, and the first black card is actually Anguished Unmaking, which is a gold card, and then Dark Ritual follows behind it at like probably the 20th spot. Yeah.
No, actually,
you got Assassin's Trophy there.
Is
right after Heroic Intervention.
Like 15th-ish. Yeah. It's at 30%. Assassin's Trophy is a really good card.
Yeah.
Right, but Dark Ritual is 24th.
Sure.
As a mono black card. And it's also the only one for quite some time until Demonic Tutor. All right, so interesting. No, there's
We're talking
totally
about
staples.
Morgan, you wanted to talk to me about Rampant Growth, a card that I famously think is dog shit.
Yes.
Sorry, Ken.
Stop
Why do
playing
you
Rampant
hate it?
Growth.
Why do I hate Rampant Growth?
Why do you hate Rampant
Yeah.
Growth, Celani?
Because in the vast majority of cases, you're just better off with a land. If you play a Rampant Growth and you don't play a land that turn, you might as well have played a land, because you're only getting a basic off of Rampant Growth. Like Farseek, I could understand. You're getting a non-basic Plains, Island, Swamp, Mountain, whatever. That's fine. Mind Stone, I could understand. You can sacrifice it for a card. Arcane Signet, at least it comes in untapped.
Yep.
You know, that sort of thing. Rampant Growth, it gets you a land, it's tapped, it's a basic. It's just not going to give you any value in the late game. Like, what are you going to do turn 7 when you need removal and you draw the Rampant Growth? You can't cycle it away. Like, even in the landfall decks, I'd rather just have an extra land play and find a way to be able to play one of my fetchlands from the graveyard again for more landfall triggers. Like,
Did you just
the
say
only reason I can-
Fetchland like it's someone's last name?
Fetchland.
Fetchland?
We're making Fetchland happen.
Joanna Fetchland.
Yes.
Fetchland.
Yeah.
Michael Fetchland Celani. No, I think that I've heard some bad arguments against specifically what Celani has in his Stop Playing Rampant Growth Commander's Herald article, which is a masterpiece of, I don't want to say rage baiting, but of read the article for the context, you guys, because Celani's argument against and for Rampant Growth is objectively correct. The bad arguments I've heard against some of Celani's examples, like Felwar Stone and Arcane Signet, you have Thought Vessel on here too, is, they're artifacts, so they're easier to kill than a land or destroy, right? And it's like, but isn't it objectively better for the Felwar Stone to come in untapped for any color? It's not a basic land. Oh, it's an artifact, so it can get smashed up or whatever. But guess what? When I'm playing it, maybe I'm probably using it that turn, which is why it's coming in and I can use it on the turn that I cast it, right? So that's what makes it valuable, not the fact that, oh, it's a harder to remove permanent type. That's not what I'm thinking about, I think, when I'm making these decks.
So I'm going to say something right now that's going to sound very stupid, but I hope it makes you guys laugh. I realize that this is like part of our job is thinking about Magic very deeply and like assessing cards on a very, very like
on a spiritual level.
You have to really go for it. Like it's a very you really have to dig deep on whether or not a card is good enough for the format or something. And I just got to say that this entire conversation feels to me like too much time on hand. You could have been doing something else. Then you could have just not been playing Rampant Growth instead of been like, here's why not.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna play Rampant Growth. Let them. Like it's.
How is that literally any different from the argument we just had over be the change you want to see in the world?
It all connects. It all comes full circle. It definitely does.
You stop playing Rampant Growth. Great.
But I also gave reasons to stop playing Rampant Growth.
Okay.
Like good ones.
Yeah.
Not just a vague metaphorical on what the format could be.
Right.
Allow
because
me to
it's
repeat
a staple,
myself.
Right. So don't play it kind of thing. Yeah.
Let me repeat here. I agree. You're making a lot of great points. I'm with you. When I make another green deck, which is probably going to be
this
in
guy's playing Rampant Growth,
2028,
Celani. I can feel it.
I won't be putting Rampant Growth. I haven't touched Rampant Growth in forever.
Right.
I do permanent based ramping. I don't touch instants and sorceries for the most part.
You know, don't shame people for not seeing Lord of the Rings. Shame them for playing Rampant Growth.
You know, and that honestly,
ass.
That's fair.
That's the lesson you should take from this.
I just think it's so funny
home.
to go so hard at Rampant Growth, which, yes, is a staple. And yes, you're making a lot of great points. But it's also like, you know, there's still applications for it. And it's like,
yeah,
fine.
It's not the worst card in the world.
No,
it's
but
just...
it's definitely the first one to get cut when you have like 6 options already.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't like, yeah, get me an Evolving Wilds instead, you know, for sure.
It feels like the theme of this episode is we don't like people who are creatively lazy. Let me rephrase that. We don't like when people are creatively lazy.
Yes.
Right? It's not an indemnification of the person, but like we prefer to see people put more thought and their own personality into what they build and play with. And you can talk about whether or not Soul Ring or whatever needs to be banned to try and force people into that mindset. I don't think that it should be, because I don't think forcing people into that mindset is necessarily a good, but like, I understand where everybody is coming through on this. And I think that's kind of going to inform how I vote. Like, do you think it's time for a vote, Mike?
How do you even vote on this?
Is he the... Oh, that's a good question. How do you even vote on this?
You can vote on it based on the medium length way of saying the people who the people who play Rhystic Study in their decks. They are always, almost all, I don't want to say always, I'm sorry, I'm generalizing. I'm being anecdotal, you guys. Okay, this is not the law. Believe it or not, I'm not a lawyer.
Bolus.
Context.
But
shut up.
The people who play Rhystic Study or Smothering Tithe or whatever, these insufferable cards that they always put in their decks, never like to see it across the other board when they didn't get it. Ever. And they're always so tilted about it that they're like, gosh dang it, I wish that could be me. Right? You can't have your cake and eat it too, I think. If you don't like seeing the Rhystic Study on the other side of the table that much, stop playing with it. Start giving people the opportunity to be creative. Start giving yourself the opportunity to be a little bit more creative with your things. Otherwise, like, there's other problems in there with me saying that, right? If you're going full tilt against something that you dislike. But the people who complain about the cards always play the cards. I would say Nick is not the bolus for bringing that up, because I do agree with him when you see those people that they're, the homogeneity of the format. Well, what does your deck look like? Oh, well, it's like 100 game changers, the entire list, and 50 islands. Like,
yeah.
Well, what kind of game are you trying to play? Do you want to play, like, again, like, there are brackets for you in this, you guys. Like, if you want to have that homogeneity, you want to play with those staples and see really like high level, high big brain games, go to bracket 4+, go to CEDH. You know, there's so many different ways to play this game that it's shocking to me that people complain about how they themselves play it. You can do something different if you really want to. And do it or not, or play. I don't care if people play with their game changers. I don't care if people play with the Rhystic Studies and Smothering Tithes. I really couldn't care less, whatever the general terminology for that is. However, stop complaining when other people do it, or when you're on the other side of it and you start to see like, oh, well, this is how somebody else feels. That's kind of wacky, you guys. Right? Like, be the change you want to see, I think, is the moral of the story for me. Like, we can complain about whatever we want. We have a right to, but like, don't judge other people, judge yourself.
Yeah, I think that like I found a way to deck build that makes me feel fulfilled and that I like, and you know, that's all well and good, and I'm not going to shame you for how you build your deck. I'm going to be upset if you misrepresent it though. Like if I have to sit down and play it and you're telling me it's a bracket 2 and we're sitting at a CDH deck, like that's a different story, but I'm not going to be upset that you built a CDH deck. You know, I'm not going to be upset that you built a deck with a bunch of game changers and we're rocking up the, bracket 3 and, I could try to punch up and be fine. Like, I think that there's something to be said for the fact that there are cards that people are going to want to use because they're powerful, and that's how we end up with the staples thing. There are cards that are powerful or popular because they were once powerful and retain some sort of like muscle memory for a bunch of players or whatever, and that's just going to be what it is. However, if someone is complaining about what the format looks like or the decks that they tend to play against or play with, you can't control that, dude. It's not up to you to do that. You can build your decks in the way that you want to see them. Like, you can build something interesting and show that off. You can make recommendations to friends who are willing to hear you out and see if you're like, hey, maybe don't play Rampant Growth in this deck. It might be better to play Secure Tri-Builder because you're a creature deck. You know, stuff like that would go a long way if you have a receptive ear and the permission to give some feedback in that regard. But ultimately, if you're building your own decks and you're satisfied with that, great. Take that judgment away from other people. You don't need to be. It's one less thing that you could be upset about. You can't control this kind of thing. It's Sol Ring. Ugh, okay. So you're going to have a great game, and we have an archenemy at the table. Fantastic. You know?
Yep.
I don't think that there's any not the bolus elements here, but I definitely think that, like, this might be a pet peeve that you would be best served letting go as much as possible. I think that the idea that there's no staples is factually incorrect. We see all the same cards because they are staples in the format, whether by their inclusion in precons or by the fact that they're just that good. They are staples. We shorten their names. We give them nicknames. We know what we're talking about when you say you're going to swords that. No, he's got a path in hand. We should be careful. There's a good reason.
Although it's really fun to give nicknames to cards that aren't well known at all.
Sure. Spatial binding.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna spatial that card. It can't phase out now.
Yeah. Bind that. What do you mean bind? Spatial binding? Can't phase out anymore.
Don't you know what you're doing? You're f***ing idiot.
Sorry, Ken. Jeez. I apologize to Ken from Michael's filthy mouth.
Yeah.
God damn it,
I
Michael.
say.
Apologize to Ken.
I'm sorry, Ken.
We can't keep saying that new word we made up. All right. I think we're done. Or unless is there one card out of things that have been spoiled recently that you guys feel down to talk about? Or is this just kind of like, nah, let's wrap it up?
Morgan, do you have a card?
I'll always scoot the day whenever possible. I think that we have a lot of room in the future to talk about stuff that's coming out from Lorwyn Equipped. Turned into JoJo Siwa there for a minute, as well as TMNT and Avatar. So whichever one of those sets comes out first, don't ask me. I think they're all coming out at the same time.
I know it's not easy.
They're all being spoiled at the same time, so it could be tomorrow, it could be next week. It's probably both.
Okay, well, I guess that's Morgan's vote. Michael, did you have a card that you want to discuss?
I actually have this brand new instant from a new set. It is called Scoot the Day. It's a 2 and a blue for an instant that return target creature to its owner's hand. Then it gets put on top of the library, and then the top card of your library gets put on the bottom of your library, and then you flip your library over so that you can see the card that you just put there, and then you draw it from the bottom of your library, and then you discard it, and then the game is over because you lose the game when you cast it.
Oh, okay. So that's
hell yeah.
I cannot believe that Magic Development actually let that card be printed, but that's interesting.
Real fun with Mine Hive.
Oh, true. They all resolve first and then you win.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to talk about Erdu, Carrier of Dawn, who turns into Isilu, Carrier of Twilight from Lorwyn Eclipse. One of the are you kidding me? That's Scooting the Daytime is happening, everybody. I'm Mike Carrozza at MikeCarrozza on all the websites. You can follow us at Am I the Bolcast on Blue Sky and email us at amithebolas@gmail.com. Morgan, where can people find you?
I be on Blue Sky at Indigo Gentleman almost every day.
Tight. Michael.
All of my stuff is at gamesfreaksa.info. Those are the letters and not the word.
There we go. And that'll do it for us. Before we let you go, I just want to say, I'm going...
Context matters.
Shut up. I'm going to Japan in November. I'm going to Japan in November, and we're doing our best to make sure we bank enough episodes for while I'm gone. But there is just a chance we miss a couple, and you're going to have to deal with it. But I recommend going back and listening to an episode that's maybe you've forgotten or one that you haven't heard yet.
Warm Pepsi guy.
The live show is a really good place
Pepsi
to start.
Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to throw that out there and let people know. Yeah, the Salties rebuttal is really fun. That's one of my favorites, honestly. We've got a couple cool interviews coming as well, and I'm banking as much as I can so that we don't miss a beat. But hey, if we do, c'est la vie. I'm going to be out of the country. So just shout out to our listenership. If you notice that we go a week without it, you can still message us or send us a DM or an email to let us know, hey, what's this episode? And I'll be like, didn't you listen? And you'll be like, yep, I'm only teasing because you said we should email you anyway. And then I'll remember, and then I'll say, yeah, my bad. All right, well, we'll be back at some point, and that'll be that. But for now, I'm saying it's time to scoot the day. Michael, where can people find you?
We already did that.
Where can people find
again. You? Yeah, they're still looking.
Wait, what?
People are still looking. They haven't found you yet.
Am I a missing person?
This is me trying to make a joke about your background being spaced this entire time, and I'm trying to. I didn't know how to make it happen. Sorry, Ken. I'm also pretty tired right now. So we can cut that part out and just say it's time to scoot the day, and we're gonna.